Hi, I'm Visweswaraiah as Assistant Professor of English, Government First Rate College, Kunigal, affiliated to Tumkur University. So, in this session or in this video, I just focus on uh, theatre, Elizabethan theatre. So, why this Elizabethan theatre becomes very important in English literature? So I'll tell you that because of William Shakespeare. So students, just you focus here that this video helps you to uh, go through or to study more on the theatre, how it was flourished, and how it was taken consideration in the English literature. So we just see that this video helps you in this way. This session or this syllabus or this particular session highlights Tumkur University syllabus, which was prescribed for first semester BA students who are studying English literature. Okay, so this is how. Why this Elizabethan theatre or English Renaissance theatre? And we can just say that it refers to that the style of performance plays which blossomed during this reign of Elizabeth I of England, and which was continued under her steward successors. Elizabethan theatre witnessed the first professional actors who belonged to touring troupes and who performed plays of blank verse with entertaining non-religious themes. The first purpose built permanent theatre was established in London in 1576, and others quickly followed, so that drama simply to entertain became a booming industry. Theatres showing plays daily led to permanent acting companies which did not have to tour, and so could invest more time and money into wooing their audience of both sexes and all social classes. So, the most celebrated playwright of this age or the age is William Shakespeare, 1564 to 1616, whose works were performed at the famous Globe Theatre in England and covered such diverse themes in history, romance, revenge, murder, comedy, and tragedy. So, students, let us have some slides on the screen so that you can focus more on Elizabethan theatre. Okay, so here in this slide, you just see that the title of this slide, Elizabethan theatre. So we just okay. What are the outcomes of this video or this session? So I'll tell you some of the outcomes of this video is or like this, which helps you or it helps the students to encounter the work of Shakespeare and his contemporaries in relation to Elizabethan culture and the wider literary traditions of Renaissance drama. And this video also familiarize themselves with the variety of information from the Elizabethan age, and it identifies some of the key aspects of Elizabethan theatre and so on. Okay, so we just see that uh, growth of Elizabethan theatre. So we just see that how it has or it was taken place to grow in its own way. Look at the beginning of the 16th century, many plays were based upon religious themes. It's like, morality plays, and showed good and bad conduct. So after that, miracle plays showed the scenes from the Bible. Okay, so the themes of the plays changed during Elizabethan reign, and English playwrights began to write comedies and tragedies. So by the end of the reign of Queen Elizabeth, playwrights such as Christopher Marlowe, Johnson, and Shakespeare were writing the plays of the world. They were, and they have they are now very famous. Okay, so we just see here that as the watching of plays during this era became more popular, theaters were built. Until then, they were touring and performing and entertaining. But here, theaters were built instead of using courtyards or of inns and other things. So the popularity of the stage plays led to the building of the Rose, Swan, and the Globe. These were the theaters in England between 1587 and 1598. So here we find that Elizabeth carefully managed her image as the Virgin Queen, who actually had sacrificed her personal life to better concentrate on the good of her people. Theatre was, therefore, we can just say that just one of the media she used to project her own glory and that of her family. The Tudors, the Queen actively sponsored artists and playwrights. So this is very interesting. So that the drama, theatre flourished in her age. We can just say that the Elizabethan period saw these public performers become a professional body of entertainers. The first professional troops of actors were sponsored by the Queen, nobles, and anyone else who had the money for such entertainments. Okay, let us look at on the slide. This slide explains you that the main features of an Elizabethan theatre. So here the theatre was open and plays had to be performed in daylights. A flag would be flown from the top of the theatre to show a play was going to be performed. It's an indication that to just it would be flown, flag would be flown from the top to indicate that the show begins. The people sat around the stage in galleries, and the cheapest place was in front of the stage. We call it as so that was the cheapest place in front of the stage, where ordinary people stood there. They were known as groundlings. So look at that, the concept of the theatre developed like this. And when we go to the next slide, it continued from the same topic. That is that there was a very little scenery. A character would be tell the audience where the scene was set. Okay, and women's parts were played by boys. So long speeches gave actors a chance to change their clothes. So in between, there was generally plenty of violence in the plays. Tudor audiences loved it because the dynasty's influence also brought on the stage here. Okay, so we just see in this slide, that is Elizabethan plays. What are the characteristics of Elizabethan plays? Intricate, okay, it is intricate plots with a deeper and more varied characterization we find in the plays. A growing emphasis on real life situations. So just we see that it's not an imaginary thing. So if audience watching, they feel that it is one or the other way connected to their life. So real life situations here we see in this place. Comedies usually ended in marriage. So we just say that comedy play so ended in the marriage, in the union of both okay, hero heroine or the protagonist. Example, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Merry Wives of Windsor. These are the examples for comedies. Okay, history plays were based of lives of people and events that had transpired. Example, Henry V, Henry VIII, Richard II. So tragedies were also very important here. That tragedies plays with the tragic heroes that undergo a series of unfortunate events, which usually leads to the death of a lead character at the end. Example, famous Shakespeare in tragedies: Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet. Okay, so notable playwrights of this Elizabethan era or Elizabethan theatre. Here we see that notable one, famous one, William Shakespeare. Yeah. Okay. Notable playwrights, as I told you, that William Shakespeare, who was born 26th April 1564 and up to 23 April 1616. William Shakespeare, English sonneteer, poet, playwright. Shakespeare wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets and several poems. Shakespeare is perhaps most famous for his tragedies, as I told you, tragedy plays. Indeed, many consider Hamlet to be the best play ever written. Dear students, the same play is prescribed for you also, like Tumkur University syllabus for first semester BA optional English students. Other tragedies include Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth and King Lear, all of which are immediately recognizable, regularly studied and frequently performed. Okay, so another important notable playwright of this age, Christopher Marlowe, 1564 to 1593, is an English playwright, poet and translator. 6 dramas have been attributed to the authorship of Marlowe. Dr. Faustus, Edward II, The Massacre at Paris, or very important plays. So, this age is important in the history of English literature. The theatre, or in Elizabethan Theatre, produced many poets like this, and plays to this world of English literature. So by saying this, uh, you have just seen that how English theatre flourished and uh, important in this English literature. And students, you can also have some of the uh, important highlights or MCQs, like some of the questions to note down or to focus on. They are: what type of plays were performed at the English theatre? And you can just have a look at that: history plays or comedies, tragedies, and all of the above. Just guess the answer. The greatest dramatists of Elizabethan age. Who are the greatest dramatists? Christopher Marlowe, William Shakespeare, Ben Jonson, all of the above. Just guess the answer, and just see that which age is regarded as the golden age in English literature: modern, Elizabethan, Restoration, or Old English. Hamlet, Othello, and Macbeth are the examples of dash by Shakespeare. Comedies, tragedies, romances, or tragic comedies. Guess the answer. Very simple. Okay, in which century was Shakespeare born? 16th, 14th, 15th, 17th. What nationality was Shakespeare? Italian, English, Scottish, Greek? Guess it. Marlowe born in, which was Marlowe's first play? Okay, like this. What was Shakespeare's first play? The line "to be or not to be," famous line, good, comes from which play? Just guess. Like this. These are some of the references I have taken it to prepare this. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Thank you.